Global warming is a long-term problem. It has been building up to the point that if it keeps on going, the world will face major life-threatening problems. The North Pole is melting due to the rapid increase in surface temperature all around the globe. This could catalyze earth-shattering catastrophes for the existing wildlife in the North Pole. Polar bears, penguins, seals, Arctic foxes, narwhals, and much, much more. Not only that, but the melting of the glaciers can also cause sea levels to rise astronomically by an elephantine of 6 meters, flooding coastal communities and destroying habitats. The warming forms increased moisture in the air, making it warm and creating calamitous and mountainous tropical cyclones, which are terrifyingly threatening to the coastal communities. Florida, New Orleans, or any place that neighbors the ocean are all at risk to these natural disasters. A tropical cyclone, or hurricane, is a rapidly rotating storm system characterized by a low-pressure center, a closed low-level atmospheric circulation, strong winds, and a spiral arrangement of thunderstorms that produce heavy rain and/or squalls. They are categorized into 5 categories: Category 1, 2, 3, and 5. With 1 being the least detrimental, with a wind speed of 136 kilometers per hour and a storm surge of 1.52 meters, to 5 being the most catastrophic, with a wind speed of over 250 kilometers per hour and a water surge of 5.5 meters. Tropical cyclones are like giant engines that use warm, moist air as fuel. That is why they form only over warm ocean waters near the equator. Tropical cyclones form as the warm air rises, causing an area of lower air pressure below. Air from the surrounding areas with higher air pressure pushes into the lower area. Then, that new air becomes warm and moist and rises too. As the warm air continues to rise, the surrounding air swirls in to take its place. As the warmed, moist air rises and cools off, the water in the air forms clouds. The whole system of clouds and wind spins and grows, fed by the ocean's heat and water evaporating from its surface. Global warming makes the ocean warmer than average, which is ironic because the warm water is the fuel for tropical cyclones. Hurricane Harvey formed in the Gulf of Mexico, which is 1 Celsius warmer than average. Hurricane Florence is being fueled by water that is 2 Celsius warmer than average. The worry for Florence is not only when it hits the land, it's about how long it'll stick around and how far inland it will go. Tropical cyclones are usually very destructive. No matter the category, they always cause expensive destructions or even fatal casualties. They uproot buildings, flood surrounding areas, or even carry people off the ground and slam them into whatever comes in their way. When global warming worsens, or when the ocean becomes warmer, only more powerful tropical cyclones are going to form, and more catastrophic destruction and depression to the human settlements and people are to come.
He warns people to prepare for even worse catastrophic flooding statewide.
Who require people to
face reality.
Polar ice caps are melting as global warming continues. We lose Arctic sea ice at a rate of almost 13% per decade. And over the past 30 years, the oldest and thickest ice in Arctic has declined by a stunning 95%. If emission continues to rise unchecked, the Arctic could be ice-free in the summer by 2040. The impacts. 1. Temperatures. The Arctic and Antarctic are the world's refrigerators. Since they are covered in white snow and ice that reflect heat back into space, they balance out all the other parts of the world that absorbs heat. Less ice means less heat reflected, meaning more intense heat waves worldwide. Sea level rising. Global average sea level has risen by about 0.18 to 0.2 meters since the 1900s, and it's getting worse. Rising seas endanger coastal cities and small island nations by generating coastal flooding and storm surge, creating dangerous weather events. Glacier melting of the Greenland ice sheet is a major predictor of future sea level rise. If it melts entirely, global sea levels could rise 6 meters. 3. Wildlife. When there is less sea ice, animals that depend on it for survival must adapt or perish. Loss of ice and melting permafrost spells troubles for polar bears, walruses, Arctic foxes, snowy owls, reindeers, and many other species. Before we can learn what we can do, we must know how global warming works. One of the major sources of greenhouse gases we produce are from burning fossil fuel, releasing large quantities of carbon dioxide and nitrous oxide into the atmosphere. Earth's land and ocean floor continues to radiate infrared energy, heat, in which carbon dioxide in the atmosphere absorbs and releases it gradually over time. Without this, Earth's average annual temperature would go below freezing. Why is it harmful? That is because the increased amount of carbon dioxide due to the artificial emission of greenhouse gases in the Earth's atmosphere means it is absorbing additional heat and releasing it more than it is supposed to, which makes the temperature rise. Here's a chart for 2016 global emissions of greenhouse gases by sector. We can see that the main producers are manufacturing and construction, which includes the generation of electricity or energy by burning fossil fuels, and they contribute about 25% of global greenhouse gas emissions. And a colossal 12% of total emission arises from transportation vehicles, such as cars, planes, boats, or trains. They all burn fossil fuel, which emits one of the greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide. Now, we can see agriculture emits 12% of total emission. Why does it emit so many? Well, because of respiration. When respiration occurs, it releases carbon dioxide. Respiration happens in all living things. It is one of the processes that defines life. Respiration users such as cows, plants, even trees. Not to say respiration is the source, since respiration has been utilized and adapted to for eons. But we have been mass-producing and housing livestock more than ever before, so the amount of carbon dioxide increases in the atmosphere. The human population also takes into account, as we perform respiration as well, just like any other living things.
Ever counteracting. Save energy at home. Much of our electricity and heat are powered by coal, oil, and gas. Use less energy by lowering your heating and cooling. Switching to LED light bulbs and energy-efficient electric appliances. Washing your laundry with cold water. Or hanging things to dry instead of using a dryer. Choose eco-friendly products. You have the power to choose with goods and services you support. To reduce your environmental impact, buy local and seasonal foods, and choose products from companies who use resources responsibly and are committed to cutting their gas emissions and weight. Reduce, reuse, repair, and recycle. Electronics, clothes, and other items we buy cause carbon emissions at each point in production, from the extraction of raw materials to manufacturing and transporting goods to market. To protect our climate, buy fewer things, shop secondhand, repair what you can, and recycle. Switch to an electric vehicle. If you plan to buy a car, consider going electric. With more and cheaper models coming on the market, even if they still run on electricity produced from fossil fuels, electric cars help reduce air pollution and cause significantly fewer greenhouse gas emissions than gas or diesel powered vehicles.
Although it doesn't sound like much, there are many little changes you can make in order to help improve things. Something as simple as replacing a regular light bulb with an LED light bulb can help reduce global warming. This is because LED light bulbs uses 75% less energy. Changing one light bulb can make more of a difference than you would think. If every US family replaced one regular incandescent bulb with an LED light bulb, it would eliminate 90 billion pounds of greenhouse gases, which is the same as taking 7.5 million cars off the road. This is just one example of how we can help reduce global warming, but there are many more ways, such as using less heat and air conditioning, walking or cycling instead of driving, using an electric car, and more. Global warming is the process of Earth's temperatures increasing abnormally. It will and is affecting the entire globe in a lot of aspects. The North Pole melting causing the increment of sea level. Increased temperatures makes it a difficult job to work and move around. Increased drought causing decoction of water source. Death of crops due to extreme weather events. These are just a few examples of the impacts of global warming, and there are many more ways it affects the world. You can help with the reduction of greenhouse gases by using electric cars, using renewable energy sources, or by recycling your rubbish. These acts will reduce the greenhouse gas emissions produced by you.